All right, welcome back to Daytime Tri-Cities. We're live this morning here at the Greeneville Municipal Airport. They have completed the pre-flight checklist. Now they're inside the cockpit and getting ready to take off. The student inside, 19 years old, and he's going up with our instructor over there. I'm going to get out of the way because I think they're ready to take off. They're all buckled up and ready to go. We have some former students over here who are also now flight instructors, and we've been talking a little bit with them. We have Aiden and Jackson over here, and they're going to walk us through kind of what's happening as we get ready to watch them take off here. This whole program, the Flight Foundation, what has it meant to you?
Oh, it's been huge. There was no way I was going to be able to fly if it wasn't for Colonel Pally. I was just a junior with a dream, and I wanted to be a doctor and realized it wasn't for me, and I had this dream of becoming a pilot, and Colonel Pally's scholarship was like the only way I was able to do that.
And so you were telling me you're at Liberty University getting ready you're a junior?
I'm a senior this year.
So getting ready to graduate.
Yes, ma'am. So I graduate here in December, and I'm 18 years old, so I'll graduate at 19, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for the Flight Foundation.
That is amazing. And you were sharing some of the stories with me. You have students, you said, that are triple your age, that you're teaching how to be a pilot now, and you said sometimes you get to these destinations and you've got the plane, but you can't get a car.
Yeah, that's right. They some airports have policies where you got to be 25 to get a courtesy car, and I know Jackson's had the same issue. It's like we'll take our students that are 50 years old and they can get a courtesy car, but we can't. So
so a lot of funny stories there. We're going to come over here and talk to Jackson as we see they are getting ready. You can see they're getting ready to start that plane. What is it like? I mean, you can remember back, I'm sure, when you were a student. What's going through his mind as he's getting ready to take off into the skies?
I mean, the first time you do it, you put your hand on the cowling there, and that's the first time you stay ahead of the airplane. From that point, it's a whirlwind. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of knobs and switches. A lot goes on, a lot goes through their mind.
Do you still remember that very first flight that you took?
I do. It was an awesome experience. When I got on the ground, I couldn't tell you my name.
It made that kind of an impact on you.
Yes, and once it makes the kind of impact, once you do it, you're hooked. There's no turning back. You love it or you hate it, and I don't know very many people that don't love it.
Yeah, you said too, you remember that very first flight and what that was like.
Absolutely. Yeah, Colonel Pally has us keep a journal of all of our experiences and stuff like that, and I think not remembering your name is definitely something that's consistent with most people. It's everybody thinks that airplanes are something that only pilots' kids can do, but anybody can become a pilot if you want to, and doing that at while you're still in high school, it's an awesome experience.
And as we're hearing, that plane has now started up. They're getting ready to take off right there, and they're getting ready to go to the skies. Tell me a little bit about what you're going to be doing with what you have learned through this program.
Absolutely. So as a flight instructor, a lot of what I do is, I'm teaching people just like who's in that left seat how to fly and become pilots. And that's with the goal of, flying a big bird one day. So, my goal is to train up the next generation of pilots, just like, people like Colonel Pally and Larry Hinkle have poured into me to become the pilot I am. I'd like to do the same for the next generation of pilots.
That is awesome. And Jackson, let's turn to you. What about you? What are your career aspirations?
So right now as an instructor, I'm about to go through a transition where I'm about to start with a regional airline at the end of this month, and then go from there to American Airlines. Right now, I'm hoping to give back. I'm hoping to stay in this area, this community, and just like Colonel Pally has, help him and give back to the younger generation.
All right, that is certainly exciting. And as we see them taking off, it is quite a process. There is a lot of things that have to happen. They were both here early this morning going through a lot of other things as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a common misconception that, when you're flying an airplane, all you've got to do is get in, turn the key, and go. It's not a lot like driving. You got to get in it. There's pre-flight checks, and as you saw, it was like 2 or 3 minutes that we were standing here before they were able to start taxiing. So there's a full checklist that, everything is done by checklist, and once they complete that checklist, if everything checks out all right, they'll taxi to the approach into 2-3 like they're doing.
All right, and we're seeing them take off. And what he mentioned doing some patterns today. As an instructor, Jackson, can you tell us what that means when they're up there doing some patterns?
So he's going to be practicing how to land. So he'll take off. He'll make basically like a racetrack. He'll make a rectangle. He'll take off, and he's going to make a right turn, a right rectangle, and then come back and land on the 2-3.
Land on the 23. That must be a certain runway.
Yep, runway 23. You got runway 23 down here and runway 5. There's we've got one runway, but depending on which direction you're taking off is which runway it is, the active runway.
All right, very cool. Well, we're going to let them take to the air, and we're going to come back here a little bit later on in the show as they make that landing and approach back here to the Greeneville Municipal Airport. Once again, it is the Flight Foundation, and as we learned, there is 3 separate programs with that, taking kids all over our region to the skies. If you would like more information on that, you can always check out the website. It is flightfoundation.com for more information.